Alright, welcome everyone to Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup's trunk updates for the 27th of June 2016. I'm Demise, and joining me today is Amalloy.
Hello, everyone.
And who are you?
Who am I? I am an avid dungeon crawl player. Started playing, I don't know, a couple years ago, I think. Joined the dungeon crawl development team
Oh,
last year around November, and I've been playing crawl and a bunch of other roguelikes for a fair while, and I upload some of them to YouTube as well, so you guys can watch that if you're interested.
yeah, so basically we got ourselves a real dev for once in our life.
That's right. It actually has my name on the dev team.
So we have an actual dev, and we're moving up in the world. Take that, checkers, but no, really, you're alright. Well
That's
done.
right. Someday you'll be able to afford Gamma Funk or something.
Yeah, one day. Unfortunately, I did ping him, but he ignored me. Quite stoically. I'm happy about that, though. Okay,
Yeah.
so... oh, man, that's bad. Alright, so this is a bit of a rushed one, because we have no prep time, as usual. So, let's get started, I guess.
Sure.
In spells. New spell, Infestation, level 8 Necromancy, found in the Necronomicon. Targets a 5x5 area, enemies become infested, and when killed, friendly death scarabs will pop out. So, that's pretty good. From what I can tell...
Marvin Kiei was talking about doing that like a long time ago, and I think he finally got around to doing it. I think it's a nice addition to the Necronomicon. Most of the spells in there are just not that useful most of the time.
I actually agree. Yeah, I think this will actually be something that, while it might not take away the choice for Kiku players to pick the Pain brand, because you always pick the Pain brand, let's be honest, the Infestation is actually one of the few very combat-focused spells that will be really powerful offensively. It's essentially, think about it like this: you can play Infestation, Death Channel, and then Animate Dead, and get a 3 times stronger army than you would normally have. I can see it being very useful, but a level 8 Necromancy spell is, of course, very, very hard to train for, unless you're playing
Are
Kiku.
you sure you can animate dead? I think that this causes the corpses to explode, and
so does it?
You could animate dead afterwards. I haven't tried it, but I think that's the case.
If that's the case, then Animate Dead's not necessary. But Death Channel, realistically, 90% of the time you're going to be seeing... Is it one Death Scarab per corpse, or multiple?
It varies with size, the same way Simulacrum does, I believe.
That's really good, then. This spell is going to probably be the core of most Necromancy... like the necromancers, basically, if you can get it.
I mean, nothing that's level 8 can ever be a core of anything.
Well, you're right, but if you do see Bjorn's Revivification, I'd love to see a necromancer that would turn that down. If you've already got 23 in necromancy for your pain branding stuff, so but this will be pretty much the thing that either replaces Simulacra, or it'll be the thing that... it fills the gap that Simulacra left when it started being nerfed to the ground. It's going to basically create a huge engine with which you can kill stuff and snowball all over the place. What do you think?
Yeah, it should. I think it should be... I suspect, like most new features that get added, it'll be a little bit too strong, and so it'll be a lot of fun to play with for a while. Like, they like to add things that way, make it a little too strong rather than too weak, so that people at least try it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with another Gels Gravitas. But
I've tried that. Does nothing. But
I think it should be pretty good. I don't know.
Just think about the fact that a 3x3 area is a fireball, so you're hitting in a 5x5 area. I'm assuming it's smited, right? I would assume it would be. It'd be weird to have it as
I haven't tried it.
Well, let's just say it's smite. It sounds pretty good.
Sure.
Anyway, okay, so next one, Alistair's Intoxication only inflicts vertigo on the caster if it succeeds in confusing any monsters.
Sure.
No one uses that spell. Let's not talk about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It seems not too likely to come up that much.
It's like mass confusion, but worse. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. Let me just try out a Wizmode game here real quick and confirm.
Yeah, alright. While you're doing that, I'll keep reading, because there are a couple of ones that I don't really see being that incredibly relevant. So Confusing Touch is back at level 1, and the Book of Cantrips, which is cool, after its long stay at level 2. That's pretty cool, because I feel like Confusing Touch is really good as a spell, because it hits things not based on Emma, but off hit dice, I think. Yeah. It's particularly really good with Feeled, as weird as that sounds. Good with Troll. It's good with pretty much anyone who goes unarmed, really. It's a very, very cool spell, and having it at level 1 just means that you'll always pick it up pretty much if you're playing unarmed.
Yeah. I I sometimes forget that Confusing Touch exists, and I think making it level 1 and putting it in a spell book that already has some reasonable spells in it might be enough to get people to use it a bit, which would be nice.
Yeah, that's nice touch.
Yeah, so
Hydroform.
I checked
Oh, yeah.
that the infestation is smite targeted, and it does explode the corpse, so you get chunks instead of a corpse.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
It works roughly how I'd expect it to work, I guess.
Sure.
Anyway, Hydroform devouring is no longer limited to victims smaller than a Hydra. Yum. Support for extra spicy meals has also been added. So what does it mean by devouring? Is that the one where it heals hit points if you kill an enemy?
If you're a Hydra and you are below max health and you kill something that would leave a corpse, then the Hydra eats the corpse and you get some extra health.
That's actually pretty cool. I've never used Hydroform because, frankly, I like Dragonform more because dragons are really cool. And that sweet 50% health bonus is just too good to handle. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I like the idea of transmutations a lot. I don't find I'm very good at using them, but it's nice to have a lot of different tools. And, like, Hydroform is good when you need an axe, right? And Dragonform is good when you don't need an axe. But usually you shouldn't need an axe, right? So usually
pretty
Hydroform
much.
isn't that great.
Yeah. So Cure Poison's been removed. That kind of sucks, actually, because Cure Poison is one of those spells that really makes Venom Mage it's pretty much like one of the only reasons to pick Venom Mage, to be completely honest. You play a melee start, and then you pick Cure Poison, and sometimes it saves you from adders. Like, if you think about it, Venom Mage just isn't very strong. The reason why is because it just doesn't work against half the enemies in the game. By lair...
But by lair, your starting book doesn't make that much difference. Sting is pretty good against goblins and rats.
Fireball is pretty damn good, dude. Fire and ice are pretty sick. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I mean they have great books, but Venom Mage's book is like, it's okay, you know. Sting is pretty alright. Ogreb's Toxic Radiance does a lot of damage.
Well, Ogreb's is good now because it's not terrible anymore. They actually buffed it to not poison yourself.
That was well. So while they did that, they reduced the damage, right? I think I haven't tried the new.
Realistically,
it was fine.
Poison damage doesn't it doesn't really matter as long as you can stack it infinitely. That's kind of what poison does. You just stack it. It doesn't. You don't want to hit him with poison. The idea is just to hit and then run and then hit and then run and then hit and then run. But
sure, and with Olgrim's Toxic Radiance, you can do that to an entire crowd all at once.
Yeah, that's really good. That's why I'd say it's better now, but I still think that Venom Bolt doesn't have the punching power. If it had a small amount of irresistibility, it'd be much better, I think, for the Venom Mage start.
I never really learned Venom Bolt. OTR is the main... So I think that's actually the reason they removed Cure Poison. You don't need it anymore now that OTR doesn't poison you. Back when it did, it was really useful to cast OTR, say, like 3 times, walk around a room full of enemies, they all die, you're poisoned to death, but you just cure it.
Yeah.
Now you don't really have to do that anymore.
The only problem is now you lose to Adder, but whatever, I guess. Anyway, monsters, new unique by Suzanne. So by Susan. Madam Whitesnake, late game Draconian unique. She casts Summon Hydras, and when severely injured, she enters her true form and becomes surrounded with a ring of storm clouds. Also, she gets water breath. Haven't actually seen this enemy. When does she appear? Does she appear in Zot? Please tell me she doesn't appear in Zot.
Oh, God, it's much earlier than that.
Oh.
I don't remember exactly where.
Jesus Christ.
No, it was like surprisingly early when I looked.
Oh my Christ.
Might be like lair branches?
Really? Lair branches?
Well, like, so that sounds astonishing, right? A unique Draconian and a lair branch. It sounds super early, but unlike Tiamat, she doesn't have 15 other Draconians with her, right?
She has 15 other Hydras with her, dude.
Does she?
Well, she has Summon Hydras.
Oh, yeah. But, like, they're not real.
Yeah, but they're still gonna kill the crap out of you if you don't have a flaming friggin' battle axe. Or, I guess, if you don't have really good strats. I don't know.
Well, so,
I'm worried.
I've been to... Sometimes you see a volcano, right? You go to a volcano in Lair, and there's, like, a red Draconian there as the final threat. And it's a huge
So you're saying she's in there? What?
No. She's not. But I'm saying, in Lair, you go to a volcano, you see a red Draconian, like, you quaff a potion of might and agility, and, like, it's hard, but you kill it, right?
Yeah.
And that's in Lair. This is a Draconian unique, but in a Lair branch. So, like, I don't know, maybe it's too early, maybe it's not.
If she has the same stats as a Draconian, yes. If she has the same stats as Tiamat, no.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
I don't know the answer. Well, we could check that, right? I mean, we can check that.
Yes, you can do that. I'm gonna See, this is so good. You can check stuff while I talk.
Oh, I'm
Anyway,
just asking IRC, right? But yes, sure.
okay, yeah,
So
do that.
she has half as much health as Tiamat, half as much evasion, or half as much armor rather.
Yeah.
Her damage is a little bit less than half. Wait, what does she cast? I don't see her list. Yeah, her one spell is Summon Hydra. Like, I don't know. I think it should
Oh
be
god,
fine.
summon Hydra. Okay, well we'll see. Like Vashnia was a really broken. Is still a really broken unique. Like smite targeted damage is so disgusting. Ugh.
It
Ugh,
is.
dude.
But the nice thing about Vashnia is you can generally walk away, right? As long as you don't let her get
She has
blinked.
blink, dude.
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know. It's fine. It's so good that you're actually a real dev, so I can like start talking shit. Because you know me, I'm a bad person apparently. But no. Look, seriously, like Vashnia is painful to deal with. I don't know.
Is
Who
she still
actually
around? I
was?
haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah, she's still around.
Yeah.
She's kicking it with her band of smite boys who just kill you
Yep.
in like 2 hits. Especially if you're playing a feel it and she two shots you, because that happened to me twice. That's fun.
Hmm.
Anyway, moving on. Necromancer monsters can now cast Bind Soul, causing nearby monsters to form as spectral things after death, like Death Channel. Huh. It doesn't make too much of a difference. Okay, almost all monster shouts at the same volume. The only exception are hisses, which are half volume, deafening roars 1.5 times, and deep rumbles, which are 2 times. I'm assuming that means loudness. And
Yeah, I
also, pigs
assume.
now squeal, and a few other enemies have had their shout behavior changed. So, the thing about this change that kind of bothers me is the fact that even though they have all these changes, I never even knew that these shouts were like different volumes, and a lot of players wouldn't know either. Shout like the noise mechanic is a little too subtle in this game. I think it's too hidden behind the surface because realistically, you never know exactly how loud something is, and even if you like, you have to first get over the hurdle of the fact that there actually is a noise mechanic in this game, which I think is pretty a little bit hidden, honestly.
Yeah.
Like do you think there would be any way that we could get some kind of noise indicator? Because I feel like that would be
I
significantly
think that
useful.
that would just be information overload, probably. I think that this change is like I don't know exactly the details of it. I expect that this made more monsters have a simple like almost all monster shouts are the same volume, right? And like these
Yeah,
exceptions are things you never really hear except spiders. So like
yeah.
I think this probably simplifies things. I don't know.
It's kind of more like I don't know. I really would like to see if anyone who has just started the game actually knows there's a noise mechanic because I didn't know for quite a while until someone told me there's a shout button, and I didn't even know there was a shout button until I got my first. I got to like maybe 2 hours into my most successful ever game, you know. So like, I don't know. I feel like shouting and stuff. The noise mechanic might be too subtle. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, change happens slowly. There's a lot of stuff. Anytime you change, if you take something away, like let's imagine we did something that you're sort of suggesting. We just took away all shouts. We took away all noise.
Yeah.
Made some other mechanic for monsters to wake up. Like there would be riots.
Would there?
Yeah.
Who'd be mad
there
about
are riots
shouts
when you
though?
do anything.
There are riots for when he becomes she, right? Hey,
Oh yeah, that one was
Check is not
incredible.
here, so he can't defend himself again. But anyway, yeah. Well, that's my idea. Entropy Weavers now become faster and cast Word of Entropy less often. Also, now they're Ant-Man finally answering the question of what are those weird things exactly. So, the fact that they cast Word of Entropy less often is good, but I'm pretty sure that's balanced by the fact that they're faster.
Well, so the reason for this change was that entropy weavers were not an interesting enemy in that all they do is they tell you you must run away now,
Can we
right? There was
remove them?
no like,
Can we remove them yet?
well, they're you know,
Like having
eh,
them. Okay, look. Let me give my reasoning. Okay, having an enemy that on sight might target corrodes you is just the most disgusting thing. And now that
I
it's
mean, it's supposed to be a threat multiplier, right? It takes the other enemies nearby and makes them more difficult. And I think that it's like it wasn't very good at that because it made them so much more difficult so regularly
yes, that's the
that
problem.
the only thing you should do is just run away and reset the fight.
Pretty
This
much.
change, making them faster, makes it harder to run away from them, so you can't do that. and as a result, they can afford to cast entropy a lot less often. And maybe this is going to make them more interesting enemies. We'll see. I mean,
Hope
stuff
so.
gets taken in, stuff gets taken out if it turns out not to work. But before that happens, we like to find ways to adjust it to make it work.
Yeah.
This addresses the problem that entropy weavers were a monster where the only correct response was as soon as you get corroded to just walk away. Now that's no longer true. Maybe they'll be more interesting now.
Have you ever considered making their corrosion not last after death?
After they die?
Yeah. Have you considered that? In the way of
kind
flayed
like
ghosts? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel
haven't
like
thought about it myself.
killing
Maybe.
them quickly is pretty much the only way to stop them now, and to be punished for killing them quickly still sucks. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I mean, I haven't thought too much about it myself. I don't think I would do it, but part of the problem, I think, with that approach is that it makes... What are you going to do about acid blobs? Are they going to be the same thing? If you kill an acid blob, your corrosion gets resisted?
Well, the word of entropy is not exactly the same as... Like, it doesn't... Basically, put it this way. Entropy weavers don't exactly have a corrode. It doesn't exactly feel like corrode when they hit you. Like,
right,
they're not corrosive. You know what I mean?
Actual stat, which is you have corrosion -8. So you have to decide if you wanted to do something like...
You could just change it to weak.
Death, reset your corrosion. You have to figure out how to make that symmetrical with acid blobs without making acid blobs weird. So it's something you could maybe do.
You could make Word of Entropy weaken as with Orange Demons. I think that's... I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like word it around because honestly, Entropy Weavers, I'm okay with them, but sometimes they are the most frustrating enemy in the game. Back when they channeled, that was pretty good because you would at least kill them. But when they smite target, and you're suddenly corrode -28. It's just...
You know why that change was made, right? Why we don't have them channel anymore?
Why?
It was so that you can't just step around the corner every time you see them charging up. They did absolutely nothing. You just say, it's charging up, I'll walk around the corner. The threat was nothing. Now they corrode you a little bit over time, and you can't really stop them. They're actually a threat this way.
Well, now, yeah, but in between these two periods, they corroded you a lot at a time. Like, if they got a good 3 turns on you, you basically sat there, like, with a -12 freaking weapon and a -18 armor. It's kind of sad. It's like, Anyway.
It's 12-12 now.
Yeah.
It was never 12-18.
Oh, because your weapon's more enchanted than your armor.
Oh, I see.
Right, and it's like, I don't know, it's just... Maybe I was going too far. Yeah, okay. So let's rein it back in. Death Scarabs have lost their Miasma Trail, but are somewhat tougher. That's good because... Miasma is freaking the most annoying cloud in the game. It comes with a myriad of career. I don't actually. Does it do career? It slows, it rots you, and it makes you sick from time to time, right? That's the effects? And it does damage. At some point. Corrosion clouds. Miasma clouds are
but it's certainly
freaking annoying, dude. Like, I know it sounds like I'm just venting to you now, but I'm just saying this is a good change because those things are like Miasma is so brutal compared to every other cloud in the game. Every cloud in the game does one thing. It does cold damage, it does fire damage, it does lightning damage, it does corrosion. This one does 5 things, and they all suck. And it's just like, and the worst part is it slows you too. So getting out of that situation is even harder than any other cloud in the game. It's just... Every time I see
although changing Death Scarabs doesn't really address the question of how the Miasma cloud affect it does. It just makes there be less of it. I think that the reason for this was that...
Because of infestation.
Have the same problem you were talking about. No, Death Scarabs already have the same problem, which is that they do a bunch of things. They have the Miasma clouds, and they're super fast, and they have like a speed drain effect when they attack.
Yeah.
They do a little bit less stuff.
Yeah. But that does nerf I suppose the change also comes about because infestation is now a thing, and it would be super tricky to get all the infestation and Death Scarabs all working at once, so makes sense.
Yeah.
Zitsimals no longer have pain or draining brands. Please tell me you weren't part of naming this character? Naming this enemy?
That's Hanged Man, I think, right? Although these days he calls himself Regret Index. I don't know why.
Christ almighty. Zitsimals?
Tsitsimitzel.
Uh, why? That's feature creep, man. Naming
Feature creep, naming
naming
creep.
creep, man.
So this, I mean, this is a name taken from another mythology, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like a lot of stuff in Crawl
Yeah,
is.
the sun devouring god or something. But god, dude, that like I said, I've said this before, but like these are like this name literally only affects me, you, and like three other people in the world.
You don't have a good time saying Tsitsi Meatball? I would
I
go to
just called
extent of
them
just
tit
saying Tsitsi
monsters.
Meatball over again.
They're
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
tits. They're just zits or tits, and it just doesn't sound right. So yeah, I try to say Shadow Fiend, but like I read zits, tits, and it just doesn't work. Anyway, so the Bennu draining brand is gone, so that's kind of good, I guess. I don't know.
Banners are
Honestly,
just too complicated. I'm glad that they. I didn't even know they had draining brand. I thought they only had a holy brand. So like,
Bennu have
you know,
wait, aren't Bennu the wait? Bennu are the one that look like pelicans, right?
I don't know how to play tiles.
Fucking casual.
But they're a bee, right? They're a bird of
You
some
want to
kind,
fight?
right?
You want to fight me about tiles? Come on, man. Let's go.
No, so
We'll have a good old.
they have a 27 damage holy attack and then two 24 damage regular
Are they the
attacks.
ones from Tomb or are they the ones from Holy
Yeah,
Pan?
not two.
Which one's the one from Holy Pan?
The
Ophens?
Apis?
I think so. No, there's one that's. Oh wait, no, those got removed. Right. They were like those enemies that you have to keep butchering until they died,
I
and they
have
got
no
really
idea.
freaking annoying.
I think you've been playing longer than I have. 'Cause I don't know about
What? When did you start playing? What?
2 years ago, year and a half.
I've only been playing for 3 years.
Yeah, that's longer than me.
That's not that
I
much
don't know
longer.
what enemy you have to keep butchering all the time. It sounds
Phoenixes.
bizarre.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Phoenixes.
those never existed. I've never seen a phoenix in my life. Sorry.
Oh, that's alright. Anyway, obsidian statues can now mesmerize, stare into their spooky jeweled eyes. That's kind of annoying, but realistically, they're statues, so who gives a crap? Young Spriggan druids have been replaced by boggarts. They really were too young to die. That's going to be a real pain in the ass for that Lair 6 branch, or if you are keeping up its Lair 6 before it was Lair 8, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember where young Spriggan druids appear, and I guess it's mostly just the lair ending, right?
Yeah, only the Lair ending. They come as a unique, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
really weird because them and Spriggan Bakers are literally the only two named non-unique enemies, and it's really weird. I don't really understand that.
The
Like,
only two what?
they're unique enemies that are named. So if you play offline, you'll have names. Them and the Cloud Mage as well. Even though the Cloud Mage is technically unique because you only see one per game, but you know what I mean. Like,
Well, they don't have names. They're just they have.
No, they are named.
They're just like reskins of an existing
Yeah.
monster like Spriggan with a different name, right?
Uh,
There's more than there's a fair number of monsters like that. Like in the Abyss, there's the Mad Acolyte of Lugonu, for
Oh
example,
yes.
which is just a rethemed wizard.
Oh, is it? I thought he always.
Yeah.
I thought he was just special because he had a distortion dagger or quick blade.
No, I mean it's like a wizard with its hit dice adjusted and a different set of spells and a dagger distortion or whatever. It's just like a convenient way to create a slightly different monster. There's a fair number of these used in vaults.
Yeah. That reminds me. Why isn't the orc from the pizzeria vault not named?
Aren't those kobolds?
No, the orcs. You know the orc that's sometimes around an oven.
I've only seen the pizzeria vault once or twice. I was thinking of Hanged Man Ranch, which has the kobolds farming the Hydra.
Oh yeah, that one it never really struck me until like I actually figured out what was going on with the flaming weapon outside and stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But no, I'm talking about the one where there's like an orc or two orcs or so, and they're sitting near a fire, and there's a couple of pizzas on the ground. That one. I don't know if you've seen that one, but yeah, that one. I feel like they should have orcish bakers or something like that. Anyway, we're getting way too sidetracked. The Cloud Mage has come into Tornado, which is kind of good because
Sure.
they were never really that good to begin with, and therefore this will hopefully make them a bit stronger. Realistically, it felt really a bit of a letdown, I guess, to go into those Wiz Labs and see that guy and just kill him in 2 hits. I do know Ultraviolent got killed by one because he got hit by a 100 and something damage lightning bolt, but we'll talk about that in a bit because it's coming up soon. In terms of gods, Nemelex has been reworked again. So the current list is, it appears there's 3 decks: Escape, Destruction, and Summoning. So Escape has the Tomb, which is the Dark Clove's Tomb; Exile, which is the Banishment one; the Elixir, which is the one we all know and love; the Cloud, which I have no idea what that one does; Velocity, which speeds you up and slows people down randomly; the Shaft, which creates shafts around you; and yeah, Destruction has Vitriol, which has been reworked, I believe; the Storm, which is the one that summons air elementals and storm clouds; Pain, which is either a torment or a bolt of or an agony; the Orb, which at low spell power creates IMBs, and at high spell power creates Orbs of Destruction in a fan; Degeneration, which reduces enemies in hit dice and turns them into a random enemy; Wild Magic, which does a miscast effect. And that's weird. Destruction looks a bit different from before. Anyway, Summoning now has the elements, which summons stuff like Raiju and Earth
Right,
Elemental
various,
dudes.
yeah,
Yeah.
elementally themed monsters with hit dice appropriate to your invocation skill.
Yeah. Pentagram can summon demons and sometimes panlords. The Dance summons a dancing weapon. Foxfire summons random numbers of either yellow or red wasps, and they can be hostile depending on your invocations. Ranger summons the Centaurs or Yaktors, and the Illusion summons a copy of yourself. So that's a full rundown of every single deck, every single card in Nemlex's itinerary now. And if it's not there and it's not a Wrath effect, it's not in the game. So, do you know what the Cloud does? I don't know what that one does.
Yeah, I'm not sure how how your power level affects it, but it surrounds enemies with unfriendly clouds.
Oh, okay. So it's a new card? Because I've never seen that
No,
card before.
no, it's been
Really?
around for a long time. Yeah.
I've never seen that card. I've played like 6
Well,
Nemlex
that's
games.
because you don't use cards, of course.
I
Nobody
use
uses
cards
cards.
a
That's why they're
lot.
changing.
Actually,
Well, okay.
it might be in the Escape deck, and I don't really use Escape deck that much. I generally
Yeah,
draw.
I think it probably is in the escape deck. Yeah.
Huh. Joke's on you. The Cloud card never existed. And then suddenly I know everything, and I'm the best. Anyway. God. That was a lot of talking. So let's just talk about
Yep.
the changes of the cards. The Vitriol card applies corrosion to all monsters in LOS. So it used to be a bolt of acid, now it's not. Apparently, that's pretty interesting. Uh,
Oh yeah, you're right. That is interesting.
yeah, so that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
In other news, so Nemlex has been nerfed again, apparently, right? This is a nerf,
Oh, I
right?
don't know about nerfed, right? He's being. The problem is not that Nemelex is too strong; it's that he's too annoying to use, and like so. And well, yeah, some of
Well,
it is a nerf. Making him use invocation instead of evocations is definitely a nerf, but it's not because Nemelex is too strong. It's like so. The argument about this is about evocations gods, Nemelex and Pekelos both is if they use evocations to get even more value, you're sort of getting like double value out of your evocations, which
yeah,
means that evocable effects are either disgustingly strong for Pekelos worshippers and Nemelex worshippers,
yeah,
or completely useless to anyone who doesn't worship them. Which, like, that's the argument, whether it's true or not, sort of for debate.
yeah.
But
I
that's
can
one
see it.
reason that why it was taken away. Now that cards belong only to Nemelex,
Yeah,
it sort of makes sense for it to be not like an evocable thing, but a god-based thing.
yeah. Okay. The only problem I have is the fact that destruction no longer has that kind of single target pain damage that it used to have. There used to be the spear, the crystal spear one. I think that's the hammer.
That was the
So,
hammer, yeah.
so they've lost that. They've lost all of the cards of the deck of war. I see. I see. They've lost every single one of
Mm,
those. All the buff
no,
ones.
no. The deck of war. The problem was that there were several different deck types that overlapped. Like, for
Yeah,
example, the Rangers, that was in the deck of war.
yeah, yeah. The deck of war was basically the buff plus the summoning plus a little
Yeah,
bit of destruction here and there.
yeah,
And so we've gone back basically to the original Nemelex decks, but they're all now really small compared. The size of actual cards is actually a lot. The card pool is smaller basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
it's one of the reasons that people don't like Nemelex is that there's so many different effects available to Nemelex that are only available to Nemelex that, like, how is an Nemelex worshipper supposed to decide what to do on any given turn if they don't even know what options a card has or deck has, and it's like hard to memorize all that stuff.
yeah.
So
Well, I'm down for I'm down for having less cards in the decks because it makes the cards that you actually want more potent. But I don't really know if the destruction deck is very good now. From what I can
Yeah, I mean, I see what
see,
you mean.
like the degeneration and wild magic are honestly not very good cards for you. They generally screw you over just as much as they screw the enemies over. So there is probably a case to be made that destruction might need a bit of a buff to bring it back up to basically being a destruction deck, because degeneration and wild magic aren't really destruction cards. They're kind of like wild magic zom cards, pretty much. So
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
that's at least my preliminary thoughts. Anyway, let's keep moving. HEP no longer provides additional specialization choices beyond the initial character ancestor, but beyond the initial ancestor class choice. Ancestor upgrades have been moved from XL21 to XL19 and from XL27 to XL24. So I actually did put a feature request forward randomly in chat at some point, saying that XL27 was far too late to get the last upgrade, and the reason for that is because a lot of the games that you play generally don't even hit XL27. So
yeah, I've played 2 Heplioclicana games, and neither time did I hit XL27, so I didn't get the last upgrade.
yeah,
it's
so
nice that it's 2024 now.
Yeah, and it just comes in time for Zot, which is really good. So that's an excellent choice. But the weird thing is that if you don't get additional specialization choices, does that mean that the Hexa and so then what's given instead? I believe so. My mage in my video had the choice to go between Force Lance and Bolt of Magma. So what does he get now? Does he just get one?
Let me just check here. So
yeah, just
make up a Hexer. You get Paralyze at level 15, Mass Confuse at 19, along with Haste, and then at 24 you get a Quick Blade.
Yeah. What about the Warrior? So the Warrior used to get a Demon Trident or a something else. I don't remember. It was like you can get a Demon Trident or you can get a triple sword or something. Yeah, something like that.
It's a little bit harder for me to check that because I already have a game going in Wiz mode where I already have a Hexer, so I can't easily turn it into
okay. Well,
a thing.
Yeah.
So I think that they just picked. The thing is, like, most of those upgrades, there was one that was just way better than the other.
Yeah.
Like, for the Battle Mage,
you'd pick
who
Bolt of Magma.
in their right minds is ever picking Force Lance over
I agree.
Bolt of Magma?
Like, Bolt of Magma is pretty damn good compared to Force Lance. And, like, in the same vein, the Knight generally wants to use the Trident anyway, because the Demon Trident's really good, so, yeah.
I think what did he do with the Knight? He made it, He's been talking about making it more about being a damage soak and not about being a damage output. I don't know if he's made many strides in that direction, but that was something he was thinking about.
Who's he,
it more
by the way?
Pleasing Fungus is the one.
Okay, yes.
Heplioclicana.
Got it. Yeah, this one's another name creep, dude. Why is he called? Who the hell?
Heplioclicana.
The worst part is that when you call it shorthand, you're just saying hepatitis. It's what the hell, man? Like, god damn it, guys.
You gotta just learn to
just call him Trog.
Learn these tongue twisters.
Trog.
What's Kiku's name?
Trog. Kiku Barracuda. Easy.
Yeah, exactly. See, Kiku
easiest game in my life.
What a name.
What a ridiculous name. But Kiku actually sounds like not a STD. So like I got the case of the Kiku. No, it doesn't sound like a disease. You know, even though it technically should. Maybe we should make Kiku hep. Because then
you just gotta get on my pronunciation level. I may not be able to do speedruns, but I can say Heplioclicana 10 times fast.
Yeah, can you do it over the course of 40 minutes, my friend? 3 times
40 minutes
3 times a week?
Heplioclicana over and over? I think I might die.
Exactly. It's very hard. I just have to call him Hep because I talk way too fast. Anyway, so Hep's transference now drains targets rather than slowing them. It's not a very big change considering no one uses transference most of the time. And Hep's ability piety costs are slightly higher, which is fine. Transference, Idealize is really good. I must say,
Yeah,
it's pretty damn good. I thought it would just be meh, but in reality, Mega Slime, which was my ancestor battle mage, was pretty much wrecking everything with Bolt of Magma, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Once you idealize him, is actually quite a powerful dude. Anyway,
yeah, I remember I was getting 3 exclamation points in Lair, just hitting things with his quarterstaff. It was ridiculous.
Did you pick Battle Mage too?
Yeah.
Right. I've been trying Knight out, but I haven't really gotten that far with him yet, because haven't really had that much time.
I played Knight in one of the really early drafts, way back, when there were like a million more choices. It was terrible.
Oh, really?
But, Well, when you had to like choose from one of 5 different effects that you
Oh
would get when
god.
you applied the transference, like it was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Nah. Too fiddly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, items. Rapiers have +1 base damage matching falchions. That's fine because no one uses rapiers. In reality, if you're gonna use rapiers, you might as well just use a long blade. Just switch over, dude. It's not that much better. You either
If
stick
you're
with
gonna use
short
a
blades.
rapier, you might as well. Did you just say you might as well use a long blade if you're using a rapier?
Yeah, just switch over. Just cross train. If you're gonna go to you either use a quick blade or you I'm talking about like straight melee with a short blade, right? You either use
Okay.
you either use a quick blade or you use a long blade. You don't ever actually hit rapier for the whole game. You know what I mean?
I mean, like you can have say a kobold or something where like they're really good at short blades and really bad at long blades. Like
No, you'd
I've
still.
certainly had characters where I just use a short blade all game. You know, they're not the best, but they're playable if you find a good short blade.
If it's
I know a lot of players
electrocution
hate
plus
to,
nine,
waste
maybe.
experience. What was that?
If it's a +9 electrocution, I'd think about it. But if it's any other
Well,
brand, I
yeah. I
wouldn't.
mean, and it usually is because you can find daggers of electrocution like all over the place. And
Yeah,
you
but
can
a
use them
dagger of
randomly, and it's
electrocution
fine.
ain't gonna punch through an orb of fire.
Yeah, but I mean, how many orbs of fire do you kill
Six.
in a game? Right?
On average,
Me, like,
6.
I think my average is about 0.75. Like,
You're doing
you
something
just,
weird.
yeah, I'm diving Zot, so I don't have to
I
fight
dive
orbs
Zot
of
too.
fire.
Yeah, I dive Zot too. But I clear Zot
And
5 because it's dangerous.
no, that's no. Well, I mean, that's a style thing. Sometimes it's right to clear Zot 5. Usually, I teleport Zot 5 because it's
Really? You're
dangerous.
insane. You're actually
Hey, I
insane.
think you're insane.
You're insane. Hey, I've got tournament cred, alright?
That's true. You certainly can play
Haha.
a lot of games.
Got him. 10 out of 10. If you wanna talk shit, you have to do pretty good in the tournament. That's the
Well,
only.
honestly, with might and haste, a rapier or even a dagger does okay, not great against an orb of fire. But even
Not on a kobold, man. Kobold's too squishy.
yeah,
I don't know. Like I always like I've played kobold like maybe 5, 6 times now. Every single time I went short blades into long blades or short blades into mage because
I think
it's
I may have
just
gone short blades into crossbows.
yeah. I actually don't. I don't think crossbows are very good right now. Like I don't think they're in a good
They're
spot.
not amazing, but like kobolds have a fantastic aptitude for it, and if you're Okawaru, like you might as well. Although now that penetration is gone, it's less appealing, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say that like pretty much.
Last time I did it, I had penetration right.
But you're
so
too small to use an arbalist. You're too small to use a triple crossbow, right?
I don't think so. I think you can.
Because I know you can't use like a triple sword with a kobold.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, we need to move because we're actually taking up a lot more time than I expected. Getting sidetracked through all these little rabbit holes. The Amulet of Dismissal now only triggers on hit that do at least 10% of the wearer's max HP. That's pretty good, but no one's going to use Dismissal ever, so it doesn't matter. Drain items and harm now apply 50% more draining when taken off. That's bad because everyone wants to take off harm items, and that sucks. Vorpal weapons no longer extra likely to chop off Hydra heads. That's a random thing that no one really knew about, and that's fine.
Yeah, agreed. I didn't know it till right now.
Books can be ID'd by reading them while on the floor. Ideally, they should be automatic, but not quite yet. Yeah, I'm hoping that gets fixed. Really, you should just be able to see the book and then just know what the spell is, like what it is. I don't know. Like it feels like it's unnecessary to have to like go up to the book and read it, or go up to the book and pick it up. Because when I control F spell, I just want to see all the spells, man. Anyway, Scrolls of Random Uselessness can no longer create butterflies. That sucks because that was the only actual use of that thing, and now it's actually completely useless.
That's the point. That's why it's good.
Why is it in the game?
Around...
Why is it in the game? It's too much flavor. It's disgusting.
The point is, before you used to be encouraged to carry around a scroll that was basically useless, just in case it ever gave you butterflies, and now you're not encouraged to do that. You can just drop it on the ground.
I had never had that intention in the first place because the
people
chances
do
of it,
though.
I don't think so, dude. I don't know. I really don't think so because it takes a turn to maybe summon butterflies, and that feels kind of useless. And, this next one's good. Youth's Hut has now got a rune door, which is good because you don't auto-explore into his thing anymore. It also is good because Youth is sometimes annoying because his door opens randomly by something, and then he comes out at you in the middle of the dungeon and kills you with a quarterstaff of chaos, and that's not fun at all. So that's a good change. But it pretty much means I'll never see Youth again because I'll never go into his door even if I wanted to, I just wouldn't because I am trained now never to open a ruined door in my life. So there you go. So their minimum, average, and maximum number of altars has been increased by 2, which is really good because the most frustrating thing in the world is looking for a god, going to temple, reaching temple, and then not being able to find it. That is one of the few things in the game that just make me want to quit. Like I did manage to. I once saw. I didn't see Hep until D9 on a Octopode fighter, so I basically just didn't get to play with a god until D9, and then I died. It was like, oh god. Ooh, especially when the gods are like really piety dependent, and you have to get them really early, or you want to get them
Hep
ideally.
is like one that I would choose as an example where that's not the case because it's more dependent on your experience level.
Kind of, but I needed that extra dude in the way of stuff because I was using polearms. My strategy was basically run Hep and then stand behind my guy. Even if it's useless, I can still use it for damage. So I didn't have that extra buffer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting too sidetracked. Let's go. There's now a strong correlation between disco balls and demonic runes. Does that mean that if you see a disco ball, you're going to get a demonic rune on that floor?
I'm guessing that they added the demonic rune to the demonic disco, but I don't know.
That's really good because I like that floor, but I always think that it has a rune and it never does, and it sucks. So if that's the case,
it never does.
Really good. Oh, good.
Now I think it always does, but it used to never do.
That's excellent, actually. That's because like I really like that floor, but it doesn't have any thematic reference, so I just get rid of it. I just leave instantly. So a lot of new and changed vaults. Cool, I guess. I don't know. It's too hard to say.
Most of these are from Minmay, I think.
Yeah. Web traps no longer torn and destroyed when creatures escape from them. Is that referring to the character as well or not?
Yeah, I think so. The reason, if you read the tavern thread, was some players complained and asked for it to be changed this way because otherwise it was optimal play for you to walk into every web trap and then tear it apart before you started fighting in an area, and that just sucked.
Also, is it still true that the getting webbed does a mini alarm trap on you in Spider?
I'm not sure about WebSense. So it's not exactly a mini alarm trap. It's a loud sound that can only be heard by monsters who have WebSense, which is this like bizarre thing. That's probably still true, but I don't know for sure.
God damn, that thing is like I found out about that accidentally reading a tavern thread. Like that is the worst thing in the world because it is so hidden. Nothing. There is no indication in the game pretty much ever that you would ever know that would do that. So it's like when I see now in my head, whenever I walk into a trap, I'm like, crap, the fight's coming. But no player that doesn't know that would even register that. They'd just be like, oh, I'm just gonna get out of here. But it's like it's a trap. You know?
So there's a recent change. If you look at a web with like XV, it says at the bottom, any creature caught in it will send out telltale vibrations, alerting and attracting spiders nearby. So they've recently put that into the description of the web trap.
Okay, well that's a bit. The thing is, like, when do you ever XV a web trap? Like, let's be honest here.
I mean, sure.
Maybe 0 times? Because you know what a web trap does. Once you get into it, you kind of know what's going on. But anyway, the monk background, this is the cool one, gains a choice of weapon, but no longer gets a choice of demigod. So demigod can't pick it. But this was, I actually did read a little bit about this. The essential point was to move it away from the unarmed only kind of style while still allowing players to pick gods and get extra piety. Is the weapon a tier 1 or tier 2 weapon? Like, is it a flail or is it a mace?
I think it's just a mace.
It's just a mace? Okay, that's a little bit... but, yeah, fair enough.
I'm not sure.
I'm hoping it's a flail because that's really good. It's pretty interesting, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, they also nerfed a bit of the stat distribution to bring it in line with the other ones because previously unarmed combat monks have pretty good distributions. Yeah, it's like you get a lot in dodging, unarmed combat, and fighting, and that's pretty much it. And a bit of invocations, I believe. So like you basically get more XP than most other ones, but it's not a big deal. But now hopefully,
monks don't get any invocations.
Oh, they don't? Yeah,
because there are some gods you might choose that don't use invocations, and it would just be wasted experience.
Okay, fair enough.
You get some stealth, some dodging, some mace, some weapon, and some fighting.
Yes, some. Yeah. Okay. Yep, got it. Okay, storm clouds are less spiky now, so that's good, I guess. So they're down from 40 to 130 to 35 to 80,
Yep.
which is good because honestly, storm clouds are like the most weird thing that one shots you. It's the one thing that when
Sure.
it hits you, sometimes it just kills you in one hit, and sometimes it does nothing. And 90% of the time, it does nothing, pretty much.
Yep.
So that's good. And you can no longer ID gold. What does that even mean? What?
So when they added the ability to use floor items, and you can also identify floor items, right? You can read a scroll of identify while you're standing over a weapon, and you can identify it.
Yeah.
And there was a bug where gold counted as an item that wasn't yet identified.
Excellent
so
use of ID.
If there was gold on the floor, but you hadn't picked it up because auto pickup was off, you could spend a scroll of identify and identify the gold, and it would be like, that's gold.
Oh, really? And it uses it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they fixed that.
Anyway, so I gotta get going. So thank you very much for joining me today, Amalloy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
He's got a YouTube channel if you want to check it out. He plays Crawl on console rather than tiles, which is a bit of a different thing from me. So that's pretty interesting. And he's been recently playing some Hyper Rogue and other games, which you can check out. But unfortunately, I have to go right now. So I'll see you next time. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone else who was listening for sticking with us. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.